So I'm here to provide an overview and an update as to where we are in this process. I will keep my comments brief, but I also think it's important to provide just a little context. So Arizonans for Fair Contracting is a grassroots organization that was formed in the fall of 2016. The group serves as a united voice for the contracting community at the legislature. This group's focus is to put an end to the unfair risk-shifting practices you've been hearing about in private projects by working to ensure that each party bears the cost of its own negligence and in proportion to each party's negligence or proportional liability. These subcontractors want to be held responsible for what they do, nothing more and nothing less. The concept already exists in public projects, which has been touched upon, where liability is proportional to negligence and each party pays their respective share of any loss. So this issue has existed at the Capitol for quite some time. It predates my time at the Capitol, and I have actually seen minutes from hearings in which a young John Mangum is discussing the problems with what he calls cram-down provisions. So with that in mind, though, I'm confident that we are experiencing a moment in Arizona contracting, and I believe that this study committee is the vehicle to identify the legislative solutions necessary to tackle some of the issues impacting Arizona contractors and level the playing field in Arizona construction contracting. The CLASC, again, as mentioned, was created under Senate Bill 1271, sponsored by Senator Fan. But the introduced version of the bill included a legislative intent clause, and I'd like to share part of that intent clause because it accurately reflects the objectives behind proportional liability, and I think it touches on each of these key points and how they feed into the final point. Quote, "Is the intent of the legislature to extend the provisions governing proportional liability in public contracting to private contracting. This will ensure fairness in construction contracting between general contractors and subcontractors and will create an economic climate that promotes safety in construction, fosters the availability and affordability of insurance, and reduces the legal costs associated with construction claims." So having said all that, where are we now? Since the legislative session has ended, the Arizonans for Fair Contracting Group has formed the Technical Advisory Committee, or the TAC. The TAC, which is led by Angela, is comprised of some of the brightest attorneys and insurance experts in this area, and they have been reviewing statutes in other states in search of best practices and possible solutions to these issues. This group is developing what I refer to as the menu of options. Again, just want to thank Angie for her time and devotion to that process. On a separate track, the Arizonans for Fair Contracting's ongoing messaging has started a dialogue in Arizona's contracting community. And I'm pleased to share with the study committee that there have been a handful of encouraging peer-to-peer discussions between the builders and subcontractors. It quickly became clear to me when I was able to sit in on one of these discussions that there's a lot more this group can agree on than not.